I'm going to. Thanks so much for being here. When people ask me what I do in adult education, I find it difficult to describe because the field itself is difficult to describe. But I think both of the speakers have pointed to the fact that what brings us together is an interest in learning. We depend upon the disciplines and fields, many of which are represented at this university, namely sociology influences our field a great deal, psychology to a certain degree. But our primary interest isn't those disciplines or even the other fields like development studies that might be of concern to us. Our primary focus is asking the question of what does learning have to do with it? So we have a diversity of students who come through our doors to do a graduate program in adult education, and many of them have stimulated my own thinking about where the gaps are in our field and what it is that our field is about. We have 5 faculty members and we all do different kinds of work, but we have in common what I would say first is what Bruno Latour calls matters of concern. And our matter of concern is community and the informal sphere, be it health, be it social movement learning, be it literacy or feminist work. So that's our matter of concern. And that matter of concern comes through in both publications, though the how it gets played out in each one is different. Secondly, we have learning tasks. We have matters of concern, but we have learning tasks. And mostly, when you work in a field like education, your learning task is to raise questions. So we would raise questions about how power gets distributed in health and learning, how terms like adult education or even lifelong learning can be troubled. That is, we can ask questions of them. We have a learning task to uncover who the providers are of education or learning in the community, be it the public library, or be it a women's center or a literacy center or whatever it works out to be in a community. And we ask questions mostly of who's not there. And they're the typical questions of ability, race, class, gender. But we bring an intensity to them, and these books hopefully bring an intensity of questioning to the learning. Arguably, all of these contribute to a stronger civil society. Thirdly, our matters of concern being first, our learning tasks being second, we provide what Bruno Latour again calls arenas in which to gather. So we provide the space for people of different backgrounds or people of common cause to come together either in writing or in practice to debate, to inform, to reflect upon our past practice and our activity for the future. And books such as these provide a place in which people can gather. The Adult Learning and Health book provides a place, one of the first places really, for people who are health practitioners and health scholars to come together and to deliberately look at how learning intercepts with their practice. We have lots of graduate students in our program back from when Donald Barry was the first graduate of the program in the early 1970s to now. He'll remember health practitioners being part of those cohorts. And they're still coming because they want to ask questions that are different, not better, but different than the questions being asked in many more traditional professional programs. And so this particular book on health allows that to happen. So we have health practitioners, community practitioners, people who, like Colleen, who blend the two. So again, to bring these arenas in which to gather, to ask questions that are raised on an international level through the various UNESCO conferences, like the Hamburg Conference in '96, or the one in Belém, Brazil, more recently. Many of them convened, by the way, by Canadians. Canadians have been leaders in the field of adult education. Witness the Coady Institute itself. and then those who work with more particular and local issues like Maureen Cody does right here, with various health boards and community groups. So in sum, our field and these particular texts come together in a field that is admittedly bold and admittedly broad, to look at matters of concern, to engage in a variety of learning tasks, and thirdly, to provide arenas in which to gather, with all due respect to Latour. In closing, I'd like to say that I'm grateful for the colleagues with whom I work, this community, which allows these questions to emerge in with the most adult educators per square mile in Canada, and that's without a doubt. I'd like to thank Sense Publications and Peter Mayo and University of Toronto Press for the opportunity to bring these to print. So thank you for being here. Enjoy your wine, and as they say in this part of the world, sláinte.